is possible, and I'm not going to guarantee this, and I'm not saying we're going to do it, that we could use the emergency use authorization pathway for this. And what that would mean is we would do the same as I just described. We'd look at the data from the accumulated phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 trials. If they met the criteria we put in our guidance with respect to safety and effectiveness, we would consider using an emergency use authorization if we felt that the risks associated with the vaccine were much lower than the risks of not having a vaccine and the potential benefit of having a vaccine. That might depend upon the population that we're looking at. It might depend upon the period of time where the epidemic is. All those things go into our consideration with respect to this emergency use authorization. The American and the world's public trust in FDA is really important. It's worth a lot because people depend upon us every day in their lives, and we just cannot do anything that would break that trust. And that's a solemn promise I'm making to you, your viewers, and the American people.
Most people don't know that the FDA, most of the money the FDA gets comes directly from the pharmaceutical company, right?
That's right. This was a new program that was passed years ago where the pharmaceutical companies wanted to roll out drugs that much quicker. The 2/3 of the funding for the approval process is actually coming from within the industry. And of course, we've talked about before on your program, this is a revolving door basically from FDA back to industry and back and so forth. But they're spending hundreds of millions of dollars to expedite the process. And we know when these drugs come out, the newer drugs, and they come out quicker and quicker and they haven't been properly vetted, those are usually the drugs that end up with black box warnings. If you're an FDA reviewer down the street in Washington, and you know who's paying the bills, essentially, it's the company that has the application in front of you on your desk, and they're the one that is basically paying for your job. So obviously it's an inherent conflict of interest there, and these drugs get pushed out without the appropriate warnings, and then these are likely the drugs that we see that we have to put a black box warning, or the FDA does eventually, or the market or the product gets totally recalled.
The FDA again and again has dropped the ball, and right now this is another example of why and doctors say this, a good doctor will advise their client, if there's another product on the market that does the same thing as this new product, and the other product on the market has been out there for more than 10 years, always, always, always stay with the old product.